Elsa is a terrible character in every way.
Oy vey. Hey everyone, I'm your alibi, and I've been avoiding this video for a very long time due to the fact that the minute I saw the title, I knew it was BS. But then my sister had the brilliant idea to send me the link, and I decided, you know what? Screw it. I'll watch it. And boy oh boy, was I right! Throughout the video, Shafrillis Productions' bias is made painfully clear. Yet he tries to sell it as bad writing when his whole argument is based on misinterpretation and willful ignorance. As a writer, I tend to avoid making a definitive statement unless I am 100% sure that I can back it up. So when I watched the video, I was like, okay, let's look at this from a strictly objective point of view. And that is exactly what we'll be doing in this video. I'm going to go ahead and break down Elsa's character and prove once and for all that she is objectively well written.
If ever there was a Disney princess tier list, Elsa would be in like D tier, next to Merida.
Wow, now he's picking on Merida? I feel like Merida's character had a natural progression throughout the movie, despite all the problems with Brave, though I'd have to analyze it to be sure. I actually watched a really insightful verbal essay on Brave a while ago, and I would definitely recommend it. Link is in the description below.
Elsa as a character does not hold up when you compare her personality to some of the other princesses.
Wait, you're basing the fact that Elsa's a bad character on the fact that she's not like other Disney princesses? She's not even a princess, she's a queen! And Disney princesses do not need a cookie-cutter formula. They're allowed to have different personalities. And yes, contrary to your belief, Elsa does have a personality, but I'll get to that.
She has ice powers, and she's serious, and I don't know, honestly.
Okay, here we go. Taking a look at the information provided to us early on in the movie, I can quite confidently say that Elsa has loads of personality. She's selfless, spending years bottling up her emotional turmoil in an effort to protect those around her. She is withdrawn due to the pervasive fear ruling her life. She is composed and regal, but at the same time not afraid to have some fun. She even has a creative streak, as shown when she's building her castle and restyling her dress. This argument very clearly shows Shafrilla's willful ignorance towards the depth of Elsa's character.
Oh wait, she's free and she lets it go and she's liberated and empowered. I know this because of Let It Go. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I love Let It Go as much as the next guy. It's a great showcase for Elsa's powers and her personality.
Wait, but I thought you just said Elsa doesn't have a personality, so which is it?
Can you quote a single line of dialogue?
Okay, now you're judging Elsa on her quotability. Sorry to burst your bubble here, buddy, but quotability does not a good character make. It helps, but it's definitely not a defining factor. So far, your arguments have been incredibly shallow.
She runs away from all her responsibilities and refuses to even try to make things right with her people or the only family she has left.
Okay, this is a blatant misinterpretation of the situation. It's already been made clear that Elsa is terrified of what her powers could do to people. So the most logical course of action for her to take after she's found out is to run away in an effort to protect people, including her sister. The only alternative would be to have Elsa's capture happen earlier on in the movie, which would completely derail the story. That, or the writers could just throw out Elsa's entire pre-established character and have her make a calm and rational decision, which would completely destroy her character arc. Both these alternatives would be bad writing.
This is an obviously wrong decision.
Yeah, duh. That's the whole point.
It's clear that Elsa was traumatized at a young age out of fear of what her powers could do to people, and she was definitely raised wrong as a result. I understand the need to keep Elsa's powers a secret from Anna as they're growing up, and so I understand the need to keep the two separate.
So you understand the need to abuse a child and teach them to be afraid of themselves and tell them they can't go near their siblings who they love because of how they might hurt them.
But once the parents are dead and Anna is basically an adult, why can't we tell her about the powers exactly? There's no higher authority here. Elsa is withholding this information from her adult sister for literally no reason.
I'm sorry, didn't you just talk about how Elsa has been traumatized for her entire childhood and it was told specifically to keep her powers a secret or else people would die? Are you not hearing yourself?
Hey, Anna, I have magic ice powers I can't control and I don't want to hurt you. That's why I stayed away from you during our entire childhood. Is that so hard?
Yes, because it would be going against her entire pre-established character, which you would have noticed had you actually paid attention and done your homework.
Is she withholding this information because that's what her parents would have wanted?
Again, yes.
I find that hard to believe. I don't think they seriously intended to keep this a secret from adult Anna.
So you're basing this argument on an assumption?
This leads to their big blowout at the party, where Anna asks, "What did I ever do to you?" This is a moment of serious emotional vulnerability coming from someone who's felt rejected and lonely for her entire life. And then we get this exchange.
I can't live like this anymore. Then leave.
No!
I love how he says Anna is showing serious emotional vulnerability while completely ignoring the obvious emotions that Elsa is showing. It's here where his obvious bias towards Anna completely undermines the lazy point that he's trying to make. Oh, Elsa's the bad guy because she hurt Anna's feelings. Again, this is totally in character for Elsa. She's been told her whole life that the best way to solve her problem is to push people away.
But is further isolation from society really what Elsa needs? Is having nobody in her life to confide in going to finally make her happy?
No, that's the whole point of the story. Shafrilla's Productions is acting like Let It Go is the completion of Elsa's arc. But it's not. She's still got a ways to go, and the movie is far from over at this point.
It's sending a message to little kids that seeking emotional reconciliations with the people you love is bad.
No, that's how you choose to interpret it because you are willfully ignoring the fact that this is not the end of Elsa's arc. If you want to try to come off as objective, you have to look at the whole story. You have to look at all the facts. You haven't done that.
It seemed like she was doing just fine on her own until Anna showed up. She never realized that being alone and apart from the people who love her was making everything worse for her.
Again, he's acting like Let It Go is the completion of Elsa's arc. It's not.
What message does this send? That isolation and removal from society will indeed make you happy until your pesky loved ones come barging in? That's not what the end of the movie is telling me. It's telling me that love was the answer this whole time.
Exactly, because that is the whole point of the movie.
Okay, why couldn't Elsa have learned that before?
Because that's not how a character arc works. Character growth is typically depicted through a personality change or experience gained. And since no one in this movie undergoes a personality change, then it's safe to say the writers were relying on experience gained to show character growth. Kristoff's goal starts out as wanting to end the eternal winter to save his ice business. But after experiencing time spent with Anna, his goal becomes simply help Anna. Anna's goal after experiencing the sudden onset of an eternal winter is to find Elsa and have her put an end to it. After learning that she's dying, Anna's goal becomes to save herself, which then changes to save Elsa after she sees Hans ready to kill her sister. Elsa's goals go from just trying to get through life without hurting or scaring anyone to just wanting to be left alone. Again, so she won't hurt anyone. But after Elsa is shown just how much her sister loves her, acceptance and coexistence becomes a very real possibility for her. If Elsa had learned her lesson halfway through the movie, there would have been no place left to go for her or the story. What Shafrillas is baselessly describing as bad writing is actually good writing.
Why couldn't she have one scene where we see her alone in her fortress of solitude where she's trying to be happy but ends up feeling miserable?
Okay, I'll bite. Let's say there was a short little scene of Elsa looking out over the mountain and commenting to herself how much she wishes Anna was there. But this would be going against her character, as it has already been established that she genuinely believes the best way to keep people safe is to stay away from them. So maybe after having Elsa make this comment, we could have her remind herself that things are better off the way they are. but this would be redundant and pointless. We already know that Elsa misses her sister, and we already know that she's afraid of what her powers could do. This adds nothing to the story.
Much like how Frozen is focused on the journey of Elsa's sister.
So you're identifying Elsa as a side character, which I wouldn't feel to be true considering how much attention she is given throughout the movie. Yet you're still upset that Elsa supposedly wasn't fleshed out more? How does this make any sense?
This is the kind of dynamic that Frozen could showcase. The idea that Elsa needs Anna just as much as Anna needs Elsa, and that running away from the one person in her life that truly loves her has made things so much worse for Elsa.
This is the dynamic that Frozen showcases. Anna literally saves Elsa's life and gives her the key to controlling her powers. While not explicitly stated in the movie, Elsa does learn that running away didn't make things better. And this is further supported by Frozen 2, when Elsa literally cringes at herself singing Let It Go. She realizes it was a mistake. In fact, one of the reasons Frozen 2 was so bad is because it undercut her arc in the first movie.
I don't understand how anyone can possibly consider her a good role model.
Yes, because selflessness, composure, and creativity are all just horrible traits to have. Even if I were to take a step away from this strictly objective perspective and look at some of the outside interpretations surrounding this character, I'd still find an incredibly positive message to be derived from Elsa. The idea of how she represents mental health is one that has impacted me personally. Again, Shafrillis is just being willfully ignorant.
Frozen 2 looks like it's going to be leaps and bounds better than the first one, and maybe even put the focus on Elsa this time around.
Again, he is incorrectly identifying her as a side character when this is not the case. She's more of a secondary main character. There is a correct terminology for that, but I don't remember what it is. But the majority of the attention is fixed on Anna.
A bunch of people really want Disney to give Elsa a girlfriend, which would be some really cool representation. It's not gonna happen since Disney doesn't care about social justice, they only care about money.
Well, at least you're right about one thing. Honestly, I used to enjoy Shafrillis Productions reviews, but after watching this video, I just completely lost all respect for him. You are free to have whatever opinion you want, but trying to pass it off as fact when you have nothing to back that up is just downright insulting and irresponsible. I've genuinely found Elsa to be inspiring, and even though Frozen 2 was not the greatest, she still came through as a shining beacon. I still cry every time I hear Show Yourself. I know everyone has their own opinion, and as previously stated, I'm okay with that. But wrongfully trying to drag down a character that many people have come to see as an icon for mental health awareness just feels hurtful. In fact, I'd have to ask you, what message are you sending when you say stuff like that? Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my defense of our beloved Ice Queen. And if you did, be sure to give the video a like and check out some more of my content. This is actually the first video I've done like this. I usually do Star Wars content. But if you want to see something similar to this, I would suggest Shady Do Rag's defense of Elsa. Link is in the description below. Till next time.